Namaste everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Ankita Sawant. Welcome to Physio Vitals. So today we are going to discuss about the esophagus and stomach, a journey through digestive system. So what is esophagus? Basically it's a muscular tube which connects the mouth to the stomach that is responsible for transporting food and liquids from mouth to stomach, and it also plays a crucial role in the digestive process. Okay, so first we'll see the layers structure. So in layers, the esophagus is composed of four distinct layers: mucosa, submucosa, muscularis propria, and adventitia. So each layer plays a very crucial role in its function. So we'll see muscularis propria. So muscularis propria layer consists of two layers. So it also has two layers now. Smooth muscle, inner lining is circular and the outer is the longitudinal. Okay. So these muscles have help propel food downward from the esophagus through peristalsis. So the muscularis propria layer consists of two layers of smooth muscles. One is inner circular and outer longitudinal. So these muscles help to propel the food downwards, down the esophagus via peristalsis. Peristalsis is basically contraction, relaxation, basically the movement which helps it forms a wave and it helps anything to pass beyond. Next is sphincter. So we have two sphincters which control the opening and closing of the esophagus. One is situated at the upper end of the esophagus and at the lower end. So the lower one prevents, basically the sphincter prevents the reflux of the stomach content into the esophagus backflow. Okay. Next we'll see esophageal function. So first is peristalsis. So what is peristalsis? It is a coordinated contraction and relaxation. Contraction and relaxation of the esophageal muscles which propel the food down the esophagus. So this wave-like motion ensures efficient food transport. So peristalsis is basically responsible to move the food from one place to another, basically from esophagus to stomach. Okay. Next function we'll see is lubrication. So mucus gland in the esophageal lining secretes mucus. So that lubricates the food bolus and facilitates its smooth passage. So basically whatever we are eating and we are swallowing it, enters into the esophagus. So this mucus gland, what it does, it secretes the mucus which gets bounded to the food and it causes which helps the lubrication like function. So it lubricates the food and then it propels downwards. So smooth passage of the food from the esophagus to stomach. Next, prevention of reflux. So what is the next function? Prevention of reflux. The lower esophageal sphincter remain closed, okay, to prevent stomach acids from backing up. So whatever the acids we have, we are going to discuss it for in the coming slide. Whatever the acid of the stomachs we have, there are chances that it might propel back up. It might propel back, so it might enter the esophagus. That's the reason the lower splinters are always closed. Okay, so which can cause heartburn or other complications. Okay, next we'll see is stomach now, the digestive powerhouse. So what is the shape and size of the stomach? So it's a J-shaped organ which is located in the upper abdomen. It is capable of expanding to hold up about 1.5 liters of food and liquid. Okay. Muscular walls we'll see now. The stomach has three muscle layers. Okay. So one is longitudinal, circular and oblique. You can see the diagram of the stomach over here. So these layers work together to churn and mix food with gastric juices. Okay. So muscular wall, what it helps? It has three layers: longitudinal, circular and oblique. Work together, churn and mix the food with the gastric juices. Whatever the gastric juices, we are going to learn it forward. So the gastric juices are basically produces a cocktail of digestive juices. Stomach produce करता है एक cocktail of the digestive juices including hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus. So this basically break down the food and activate the digestive enzymes. That is the role of the gastric juices. Okay, so we have hydrochloric acid, pepsin and mucus. What is the function? The only function is digestion. So first we'll see the mechanical digestion. The stomach's muscular wall. Okay, now the muscular wall we are commenting on, it churns and mixes the food with gastric juices, hydrochloric HCl, pepsin and mucus. So it churns and mixes the food with gastric juices, physically breaks down the food particles into smaller pieces. This is the mechanical digestion. Next we'll see the chemical digestion now. The hydrochloric acid in gastric juice denatures the protein. Okay, so HCl basically what it does, that it denatures the protein and makes them more susceptible to enzymatic breakdown. Whereas pepsin, a proteolytic enzyme which breaks down protein into peptides. Okay, so we saw in the function of the stomach, mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Moving further to the chyme formation. The mixture of partially digested food and gastric juices, known as chyme, is gradually released into the small intestine. Now from this process, all the two, mechanical and chemical digestion, whatever the content is formed is called chyme formation. So that particular thing is now gradually it is released now from the stomach to the small intestine for further digestion and absorption. So how the chain reaction is there, we eat, we chew, we swallow, it enters the esophagus. From esophagus, peristalsis is there. From there, sphincters open it, the contents go into the stomach. Mechanical digestion is happening, chemical digestion is happening, chyme formation is there, and then further it is getting into the small intestine. So how beautiful the system works. So next is first function we saw was digestion. Now we'll see the absorption. So now limited absorption. The stomach primarily focuses on mechanical and chemical digestion, which we just learned. Only a limited amount of absorption occurs. Okay, so mainly alcohol and certain drugs are absorbed in stomach. So basically main function of the stomach is to digest, not that much of absorption. So little limited amount of absorption occurs, mainly that is alcohol or certain drugs. Water and electrolyte. A stomach absorbs a small amount of water and electrolytes, contributing to the overall fluid balance. Gastric emptying. The rate of gastric emptying is influenced by factors such as food composition, meal size and hormonal signals. Okay. What are the stomach secretions? We have seen already hydrochloric acid. Its function is to denature the protein and activates pepsin, which kills the bacteria. Also kills the bacteria. Whereas other secretion is pepsin. Its function is to break down protein into peptides. One more thing we have is mucus. Mucus, what it does? It protects the stomach lining from acid damage, lubricates food passage. We saw in esophagus how it lubricates and propels the food down. Then in intrinsic factor, essential for vitamin B12 absorption in the small intestine. Absorption in the small intestine. So secretions of the stomach we saw. HCl, pepsin, mucus, and then we saw the intrinsic factors. What are the disorders now of the esophagus and stomach? First we have GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Sometimes when we burp and we are full, we eat any dish which is very spicy or something like that, and we burp and the gastric content, you can feel it comes till the throat. Sometimes we feel the burn. Chronic reflux. So basically GERD is the chronic reflux of stomach acid into the esophagus, causing heartburn, indigestion and other symptoms. Gastritis is the other condition disorder we'll see now. Basically gastritis is the inflammation of the stomach lining which caused by various factors such as bacteria, alcohol or certain medications. Whenever the person eats spicy, so it damages the stomach lining. If there is any bacteria, it damages the stomach lining. Alcohol, if it stays for a prolonged time until that it is digested or absorbed, it further damages the stomach lining. And certain medications which are very irritant to that particular stomach lining, then also gastritis can happen. Peptic ulcer disease. So open sores in the lining of the stomach or duodenum. Ulceratic formation on the lining of the stomach or the duodenum, often caused by H. pyloric infection or NSAIDs use. Next is esophageal and stomach cancers. So malignant tumor that develop in the esophagus and stomach, often associated with risk factors such as smoking, alcohol consumption, and certain dietary habits. So these are the very common disorders of esophagus and stomach. Whenever we or any elderly person who is very weak, we should never consume any medication and directly after consuming it we should wait for some time, at least 5 to 10 minutes we should wait, and then only we should lie down. Otherwise, sometimes what happens, if we are not drinking sufficient water, the tablet might get, the medication might just stick to the lining of the stomach, or you say esophagus, and then it might cause the ulcerative changes. It might react with the lining. So that's the reason we should sit for at least 10 minutes after taking any medications or anything. Even after consuming food, we should wait, because we can, by that we can prevent GERD and all, gastritis, peptic ulcer diseases and all. So you should be very mindful what we are eating, how we are eating, what are the do's and don'ts. So this was all about esophagus and stomach. I hope you liked the video. Thank you very much. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned. I'll be coming up with such amazing organ videos. Now, this is the series of organ. I've started from esophagus and stomach. In coming videos, I'll be covering liver, kidney, and other organs as well. So, stay tuned for the organ series. God bless you all. Thank you.